how to deal with night terrors when they happen, as well as some things you can do to stop night terrors happening for your child. Hey, I'm Ryan from DreamyDad.com, and I'm trying to help people like yourself stop night terrors in their children. So how do you deal with night terrors when they happen? What should you do as a parent when your child is having a night terror? Now, if you're not 100% sure what a night terror is, it's generally when your child goes to bed, they then wake up at some point during the night. Generally, it's only an hour or two after they go to bed, and they're having a tantrum. They could be crying or screaming or shouting. They could appear really fearful, but the problem is they're not actually awake, so they're very unresponsive to you. In fact, if you try and help them and soothe them, often it makes it worse. So night terrors occur when the part of the child's brain that controls their movement wakes up, but the part of the brain that receives the inputs and that is conscious doesn't wake up. So they're still asleep, but they're moving around and having a tantrum. So they're very difficult to deal with as a parent, and there's not a lot you can do, but I wanted to give you some tips and some advice, as well as talk about how you can actually stop these from happening, because there is a solution for night terrors. Okay, so when your child has a night terror, it's advised by clinicians and by doctors to actually leave the child alone. They say by impeding or by trying to solve and stop the night terror, you're actually more likely to make things worse, and that night terrors will stop on their own. Now, for each child it's different. Some children will have night terrors for 5 or 10 minutes. Other children will have them for 40 or 50 minutes. Some children even have them for an hour and a half to 2 hours. So depending on your child will depend on whether you actually want to intervene and stop this night terror or not. Now remember, your child is not actually awake, so they won't remember this night terror in the morning. They don't actually know this is happening. So despite the fact that they look like they're in massive distress, and I know, like my son is 3 years old, he has night terrors. They look like they're in distress, they're having a horrible time, and you want to help them as a parent. It's like naturally within you to help them. Sometimes it is best to leave them, depending on how long their night terror goes for, depending on how severe the night terrors are, because some children do get violent and can hurt themselves. So you do need to make a decision as a parent what you're going to do. Now, when it comes to waking up your child, there is no real advice from doctors on exactly how to do it when they're having a night terror. A night terror, by its very nature, makes it very difficult for your child to wake up. You can't just, shake them or give them a cuddle or speak to them and they wake up. By the very nature of a night terror, they're extremely unresponsive. And from everything that I've read, all the stories that I've read from other people, their experiences are similar to mine. So don't try and talk your child out of it, or necessarily try and give them cuddles to console them and say, it's okay, it's okay. But the best results most parents have had is to sit your child down, and you may want to hold them or sit next to them, but you're not actively engaging with the child. So you're not talking to them or trying to calm them down. Often we can get angry and be like, snap out of it. So we're not doing that. So we just put our child somewhere where they can watch TV, and we put on one of their favorite shows. So either get a DVD of their favorite show, find it on YouTube or find it on the internet, because obviously in the middle of the night there's no children's shows on TV. So you find one of their favorite shows, put them in front of the TV, and then you try and help them wake up that way. Generally, children will wake up after a certain amount of time, realize that the TV's on, that it's the show that they like, and they will kind of be like all dazed and confused but watching their show. Another thing that can help but isn't awesome is to give them ice blocks and stuff like that. Sometimes that helps. While it doesn't actually wake up your child, I have found that when they finally get to the point and they realize that they're awake and they're watching TV, to have something nice there, like a little icy bowl that they can have, can sometimes help. That's something I've done myself. I'm not sure if it's recommended by doctors or clinicians. I'm not a sleep doctor. I'm a parent who has a child who has night terrors, and I've been doing some research about it and listening to other people's things. Another thing that can help, that has worked for me, if I can catch my child at the really early phases of the night terror, and sometimes this works and sometimes it doesn't, it just depends on the severity of the night terror that he's having, is that I can make up excuses and distractions for while he's awake. So I don't know why this works, but let's say he starts the beginning of a night terror, if I go in and I say, oh, buddy, like your covers were on, you're hot, let me take those off. Oh, you know, I'll turn the fan on, or you might need a drink of water, or, you know, oh, you lost your toy, here's your toy. Make up some excuse for why he's crying. Sometimes that will help, and he'll kind of like accept that excuse and then go back to sleep. I have no idea if that's a legitimate way to stop them, but it seems to work for me every now and then. It's not a 100% hit rate, but it is more effective than just leaving them and letting them go into the night terror. So that's how to deal with night terrors when they happen. Let's quickly talk about how to talk to your child about night terrors, and then we'll talk about what you can do to stop night terrors from happening. And there is a solution out there, and you're going to be absolutely stoked to find this solution. Okay, so talking to your child about night terrors, the rule of thumb is don't. Don't talk to your child about night terrors. As a parent, you want to talk to your child about them because this is such an intense experience that you're having and that you feel like your child is having. But your child is not awake. They are not going to remember this, and so by talking to them, you're not going to help in any way because they don't remember the night terrors. It happens because a part of their brain wakes up, the part that controls movement, but other parts of their brain don't wake up. So the problem with talking to your child about night terrors is that you can make them fearful of sleep, which can interrupt with their sleep, can make it harder for them to go to sleep, and actually cause more night terrors to happen. So basically, there's no point discussing it with your child because they're not going to remember it. Obviously, if they remember it and discuss it with you, then you can talk about it. But the goal, I guess, is to not make them fearful of going to bed because they don't even know it's happening. All right, so now, how do we fix these night terrors? Well, there's two proven solutions for fixing night terrors, and they haven't gone mainstream. See, most doctors and most clinicians and things like that haven't really focused on night terrors because it's something that happens for a short period of time. Generally, it's between 2 years old and 5 years old that children have them, though it can extend outside of that time. The child doesn't remember them and then they go away with time. So a lot of people just recommend you just need to wait it out. But there are ways that you can actually stop night terrors or lower the frequency of night terrors for your child. There's a free way and there's a paid product, which is the best solution, but it is paid. So depending on your budget, it will depend on what you decide to do. So the free way is what's called schedule awakenings. And so this is making a note of when your child goes to bed and when your child has the night terrors and trying to wake your child up about half an hour before the night terror happens and keep them awake for 3 to 5 minutes and then put them back to bed. Clinical studies show that if you did this for 6 weeks, the night terrors didn't return within a 12-month period. So you can do this for 7 weeks, try it and see how you go. If they come back, then you could move on to the paid product or you could try scheduled awakenings again. Obviously, this has some downfalls in the fact that you just put your child to sleep. Often it's a lot of effort to get your kid to go to sleep, and to wake them up can cause all sorts of issues for you as parents. You know, there is that rule, never wake a sleeping baby, and this kind of goes against the grain in terms of that. But it is a lot better than having night terrors. So scheduled awakenings are good, but they're not the ideal solution because you need to wake up your child. Also, you need to remember when to go in and when to wake them up. Sometimes it can be a lot of effort to wake up your child as well. So it's stressful. I don't like that solution. But there is a new product that has just hit the market. I think in about June or July of 2015 it came out. It's called the Lully, and it's a vibrating disc that goes under your child's bed. Okay, so it's just like a white plastic disc that goes under your child's bed, connects to an app on your phone, and basically you put in the details of when your child goes to sleep, how long they generally take to fall asleep, and what time they tend to have night terrors. And Lully will then prompt you to turn on the Lully at a specific amount of time. At a specified time, sorry. So you'll then go into the child's room, you'll then turn it on via your phone, so it's wireless, it uses Bluetooth. You'll turn it on via your phone, it goes for 3 minutes, and you watch over your child while the Lully is on. If your child begins to move, if they wake up or have a night terror, you turn the Lully off. And if they don't move, then it just does its course for 3 minutes and turns off by itself. And the reason the Lully works is that it creates a partial awakening in a child. So it wakes the child up, but they only are awake for like 2 or 3 seconds and don't remember it. And it kind of resets the brain, and for some reason that stops the night terrors from happening and stops the brain going into that disassociated state where part of the brain's awake and part of it's asleep. So rather than waking your child up, you use vibrations to create a partial awakening in your child, which will stop the night terrors. Now you can get the Lully on Amazon. It's available for $129 US. You can go through my affiliate link if you want, which is dreamydad.com/Lully, Lully, and you can check that out. I purchased the Lully about 3 or 4 months ago. My son was having night terrors about twice a week, I would say. It varied in frequency, but since we've had the Lully, night terrors are extremely rare to non-existent. We might have one once a month, or maybe, once every 2 months, and it'll just be like a rare occurrence. So we absolutely love the Lully. We think that it has solved our child's night terror problems, and that's why I created this website. That's why I created these videos and these episodes, to try and help other parents out there discover this solution and to help fix night terrors, because you shouldn't have to deal with it, shouldn't have to deal with the sleep deprivation. And for some parents, their kid has night terrors 3 or 4 times a night. Oh my goodness, can you imagine being woken up that many times? I can, because I have a newborn and I am very sleep deprived. But yes, so Lully is absolutely awesome. There are hundreds of stories of parents who have used Lully. If you go onto Amazon, go and look at the reviews and you'll see what the parents say about it, and you'll see that this is absolutely a product that solves this problem. So check it out through my affiliate link, which is dreamydad.com/Lully, Lully. And I do get a small commission if you purchase through that affiliate link, but it doesn't cost you any more and helps to fund this website. So absolutely thank you for doing that. Look, I wish you the best in dealing with night terrors when your child is experiencing them, as well as working to actually stop night terrors occurring in your child. So how do we deal with them? Well, when they happen, a lot of parents find that putting on a TV show and being close to them but not actively engaging with the child is one of the best ways to stop the night terror, get them to wake up. Or you can leave them if you want. For most of us, that's going to be really difficult. Or you can try and intervene early in the night terror, give them a reason why, oh, you're too hot, or you're too cold, or whatever. Give them an excuse to try and get them back to sleep. And for some reason, that has worked for me, and it may work for you. It's worth a try, hey? It's worth a shot, at least. So I hope this has been helpful. You can check out all the episodes. Just go to dreamydad.com, or if you want to check out that Lully and get access to it, go to dreamydad.com/Lully, Lully. And if you're outside the US and you want to get access to this, then check out myus.com. I'm not affiliated with that in any way, but basically that gives you a shipping address within the USA. They receive it for you and then they ship it on to you in whatever country you're in. So I'm in Australia, and so I had to do that, get them to ship it to myus.com. MyUS then shipped it on to me. So there's a bit of extra cost in the international shipping there, but it's absolutely worth it. When you don't have to deal with night terrors, you don't have to watch your child go through night terrors anymore. I would pay almost any amount of money in order to make that happen. Hope this has been helpful, guys. Until next time, sleep well.